Well, good morning, good evening, good day, whoever you are, wherever you are in this world. Greetings from Florence, Italy. My name is Ailita Lito. I'm a Feng Shui practitioner. Um, just moved from Bay Area and enjoying the time also in Europe. So kind of consulting worldwide. And today we are starting this presentation. This is a free Zoom call. You can ask any questions regarding the Chinese astrology, Feng Shui, design, implementation. If that is part of my expertise, then I'll be very open to address. And for those who are on the call, you can stay after the presentation. As I said, there will be a question answer opportunities. Otherwise, the recording is available, will be available under the on my website, which is ailitalito.com, and information will follow. Another formality, use the chat information on the chat if you have any additional comments or questions, or raise your arm and I'll be happy to address. This is not a pre-written presentation. I usually love to share the information as it flows, and let's have fun, let's embrace, and let's start with a little fun quote. So I'll then start sharing my screen. All right. So we just recently found one of the cute jokes I find, and that was related to the solar eclipse. The dragon year folks are freaking out. There's a solar eclipse coming up, and according to their fortune cookies, it's a bad omen for fire signs. A worried dragon calls their friend, the monkey. I'm actually a monkey. Hey, did you see the news about the eclipse? They say it's gonna bring bad luck. The monkey, ever the optimist, replies, relax, dragon. It just means for a little while you won't be the center of attention. Isn't this true? Well, as you know from the previous presentation about Chinese New Year, we talked about how important is, especially for the dragons, either you have elements of the dragon in your chart or in your year, is this prominently be at service to others. That is the deepest auspice of the dragon, as its qualities, energetical qualities, especially dragon as a leader. So if you need to connect with me or find more information, there's my website, ailitalito.com. Let's move forward. What we're going to cover today. So we're going to talk briefly about total solar eclipse, which is it's taking place as we speak. We talk about transitions between the fire rabbit month to young earth dragon month, which is begins tomorrow, the April 9th. We talk about the capacity opportunities during these chi nodes that are clear and bright, grain rain, summer begins in May. So these are the dates at giving. And I'm now opening up for the questions about Chinese astrology, feng shui, and design. And so, as always, sharing the upcoming lucky days. When I write these April, May, June lucky days, what I relate to is that is in genuinely good days for most of the activities like money, investing, or purchasing, or doing the feng shui interior, exterior designs, gardening, as well as the signing contracts. Of course, in personalized sense, we always look at astrology and complementing the best day. But what I has listed are truly a safe days to act, to not to be lazy. And as you can see based on the patterns, April, May, June, especially May, has a tremendous opportunities. So when I refer to Chinese astrology, and in the previous presentations regarding the year of a dragon and how important is to looking forward and doing the proper work during the month of the rabbit, as well as the year of a rabbit, which was the huge opportunity to do the purging, releasing, like having the closure, allowing the things to naturally kind of dissolve, changing the patterns. And that's not, I'm not talking just a yearly patterns. I'm talking about if there's something has been taking place in the past, release, reflect, write it out with a very simple techniques. For example, one of the techniques I always suggest my clients use the paper, just the white sheet of paper and pencil, especially 2M or 3M pencil, which has a lead, because through the type, as we write things, let's say either any sense of the negativity, resentment, regrets, if you write it out, observing, even like observing your handwriting, like the type, you can also start detecting when, at what time of stage in your life there was initial trauma or initial things that took place. It kind of reveals on the paper as you doing it. And then simply through the prayer, you can also burn it, like send it off to the heavens, or fold it, release it, put it in a red envelope with more like a wish. But purging, truly purging, writing it out is one of the easiest, simplest way that you sometimes, I actually personally sometimes I use the in a cafe, so like use a napkin. And if there's something to thoughtfully go through, write it out and disperse it and burn it. Um, so use these days as a guidance. As you'll also see, this the cluster of April, May, June gives the amazing opportunity if we did a good homework, if we did a good job by releasing and planning the year. The planning already started during the 2023. So this is almost like this is a true beginning of the year from my perspective. It's the month of the dragon that starts tomorrow, that also is the year of a dragon. So if you want to kind of increase the powerhouse of the dragon chi, dragon energy, you can also use every single day as between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. That is the dragon hour. So during these next couple, or at least next couple of weeks, or next month, if you do morning practice, early morning practice, you can engage and face east side as well. So these are just a few hints to take into consideration. Here's the my teacher looming. I was just traveling in US and how interesting. Couple couple days ago, I saw also looming appearing in my dream, and I guess this was a good omen for me to also think about all the teachings. He passed in 2015, but his knowledge, his wisdom, his voice, his recordings that you can also get familiar at the Dion Circle website is available, as also his beautiful books that we jointly created and translated, is also right in front of me here. Those are all available. But one of the quotes, and I think is really well describes when we're thinking about solar eclipse or total solar eclipse. I'm going to read the quote for him. Be open, be still. Observe the 10,000 as they complete themselves. Appearing in great profusion, they return to their root. The cycle of return is stillness itself. Stillness resolves fate. This resolution reveals the luminous wisdom of the always so. All else is the compulsion that breeds disaster. Knowing the always so is expressed by acceptance. Acceptance reveals totality. Totality provides dignity and influence. Dignified influence is in accord with heaven. Heaven is intimacy with Tao. One who has intimacy with Tao transcends birth and death. Just couple minutes before the Feng Shui call, I noticed in social media that there are these almost like kind of fearful posts about solar eclipse, the kind of creating the little bit of drama, energetical drama. And that made me think of when we have no information or lack of information, obviously we react based on the fear. And I guess this particular site from the I Ching, I would refer how important it is to stay and be observant. Uh, by being observant and not creating judgment, not really involving it's a good or bad, but just observing, being in that still moment and being in the presence of it. This is the most optimal time when we also are very, very becoming very how to say conservative with your energy post, with your energy field. So when we start dispersing ourselves in the emotion or in certain about the judgment, obviously we starting depleting. It's almost like having an iPhone on all possible apps and FaceTime and just depleting the battery. And that's the battery we as are the cultivators. So nothing additional, just your only daily routine when we get in the rhythm of the sleep and food, etc. This is important to remember. The energetical patterns and our spiritual patterns are involved and invested the same time. So some of the commentaries that we refer based on this, the I Ching, what the teacher Lu Ming was referring and explaining. The cycle of return is stillness itself. Even the circular times of stillness is return. These are no problem to be solved, as a stillness resolves is fate. Fate, like a knot, is a snake, unwinds without a compulsion to act. This resolution, our way observance, reveals the luminous wisdom of the always soul. To attempt to observe is our capacity to see, just as it is. It's wisdom itself. It is never flawed, broken, or stained in any way. All else is compulsion that breeds disaster. Disaster is wisdom, dance partner. When you see the two dance, the false notion of a abiding self, a third point, appears. Experiencing the dance endowed, direct and modestly enjoyable. What Lu Ming was referring when he was doing the translation and explaining, and how I personally take this particular quote to heart, is observing as is and not creating the judgment allows us to stay in the present moment to the longest time, not rushing too much into the future or thinking about it, but really that the sacred time of being now as is. And two words that he also uses in this is dignity, authenticity, and being genuine are not in any sense attributes that occur due to development. They speak of the total embrace of nature that is Tao De. These are the not as it commonly thoughts, attributes accomplished by circumstances, as all circumstance is fundamental, entangled on compulsion, action. So stopping to being, compulsion is also one of the important parts of during the year of the dragon and also during the month of the dragon. So how well we are prepared for upcoming period, which is the April, May, June, is very, very crucial. So if you go back to the recording about the Chinese New Year, you might refer, there will be more information, more information shared. And this is the time to start acting. This is the time for us to get involved. One of the inspirations regarding when we talk about solar eclipse, and I find a couple months ago during the exhibit in Florence by Anish Kapoor at Palazzo Strozzi, there was during the exhibit we walked through, there's non-object black. And I was fascinated about it because not only because it was where it was located. Like, think about Palazzo Strozzi, this amazing building, amazing structure. We observing this contemporary way of expression of art and mind, and that's also is associated with the year of the wood dragon. That's artistic way of expressing something that's I would say it was very um, not forceful, but engaging, but also made from a simple way, also thinking about things very deeply. This particular exhibit, when I was stopping at it, was non-object black. It was the highly is made of this material, is a Wanta black, that is the material used in this work is made from carbon nanotubes, able to absorb more than 99.9% of the visible light and rendering the contours of the object invisible. So my experience just standing in front of this kind of the black hole, um, it was it was assimilating to some extent, observing the shadow when I was at the total solar eclipse in 2017 in Oregon. And unique thing was not observing the sun, not looking at the how the sun transition, but how to become within the shadow when you turn 180 degrees away from the sun and you observe how the shadow that is following the ground, how the change within the space from the light to dark, from super, like innocently quiet, where the animals, where the birds, the dogs lay down, like no movement. It was so dramatic. Like it definitely revealed back these notions when I was also looking at the Anish Kapoor's uh, expression of the art for this non-object black. And so, sorry. I don't know how many of you have experienced his art, but those who are in Chicago probably have seen the called the cloud or reflected the beam. So this is the dragon qualities. Again, as a quick reminder, when we're entering the month of the dragon or being in the also year of a dragon is powerful. Its inner element is earth and symbol of emperor, association with the rising sun in the east. So when we talk about the rising sun in the east, it also is in Feng Shui, it relates to the element of the wood chi, wood energy. And wood is the yang within the yin, or less the yang. And usually like a keywords for the East in general terms would be initiation, birth, newness, renewal, adaptation by following. The capacity to grow is flexibility. So being flexible during this, especially during the time of April and mid-May, if you have a great plans, but if you need to pivot or slightly rearrange things, that is okay. For example, all your changes during the month of the March, when we have a commitment, should be forgotten and forgiven. If you have any disappointment of previous month of March, then I would just genuinely invite you to forgive. Forgive yourself, forgive your colleagues, forgive the situation, learn from it, allow that to just, like a bliss, like a mist, just to transpire and dissolve. Yin and Yang synthesis. So applied to cosmology, when we talk about also the energy of the East or wood energy, um, as you know, the icon is a Zord dragon. The trees, especially oak and willow trees, are a great symbol for the wood energy. Direction we know it's the east, the rising sun. Emotions, it's a modesty, gentleness, acceptance, naivete. Um, When we create anger, that is the instant kind of instantly we can recognize that is a depleted liver. That usually is a residue that we can also, if you can purge or do some cleanse, emotional cleanse, spiritual, also physical, that's all welcomed attributes, especially during the month of the April. So because the month and the year is so powerful, you almost are transparent on at any activities what you are planning to do. So planning in advance was advised, and I hope you use the last year as well as the beginning of the year, the January, February, March for this particular specific purpose. When we talk about chi notes, that's related to Taoist, that we have 24 chi notes, and these current 3 chi notes during this time are related to spring begins, rainwater, insect stir, and spring equinox that we just also on pure light. So pure light begins in a week or so. The
To know, are the Chinese 5 elements the same to the 4 to 5 Indian and English ones?
No, there's the I will address it at the end, if I may. Okay. So, but I will address that question. So dragon, as a quick reminder, what is most important during this time frame, April, May, June. For example, if you are working on any specific project or been working on any specific project, this particular time frame is to execute or like at least not only initiate, but work like hands-on, practically hands-on working on it. Of course, you have to be gentle with, because it's like correlating to it's the seed that's already sprouted. It already has a potential. It's above the ground, and this greenery, the potential that's reveals. You almost like you are now nurturing the earth. You're nurturing you watering the plant, right? So, but if you too aggressive and you're not gentle with it, you can snap it, and you can really profoundly affect the potential of this particular opportunity. So symbolically think in such a terms that we planted the seed in January, February. It went more yin on the ground. Now it has turned around. It's already above the ground, sprouts. There's a wood sheet, wood energy. And add usefulness, responsiveness, ambition, appetite for knowledge. So it's great for information. Those born under this influence of wood have enhanced imagination, artistic creativity. So all these elements are available universally. So this is the quality of chi that we can tap into it as we speak. So be productive. And if you do have a dragon element, dragon symbols or Chinese astrology in your either year or month or hour or day, it differently affects you. But just remember, your value, so the power of the dragon is of no value unless it's turned away from selfishness by self-reflection and dedicated to the benefit of others. So that's even dragons have a path. They must find their place and learn to give. That was from my teacher, Lu Ming, in 2012. All right. So in regards to feng shui, as I mentioned, this particular time frame right now, we are in the east, kind of the response between the east and southeast area. This is a great time if you have initiated any studies, if you plan to study, if you plan to enter the course or teach. This is very profound to expand the viewpoint. So great opportunities. Speaking more about feng shui, sometimes I share that when we want to enhance the wood element, people in many ways mix that wood energy is like something made of wood. I want to remind you, we're talking about something that is living. If you want to enhance the wood energy in your, let's say, living room, it is about living plants, like what's luscious, how you take good care of it, how you observe, the patterns as they it's actually, for the new those who are not even parents, it's a great way to become a good parent of your plant, if I may say, because you start noticing how the plant would act when it's not watered enough, or when it's overwatered, when it's put in a sunny side versus the most adaptable environment away from the sun. Depends on the plant, depends on its nature. So being observant in feng shui, when we need to adjust the energy, of course, the live plants is one of the most practical elements to be added if you need the wood energy in a living space, in a living room, in outdoors, in a garden, taking care of your gardens. But there's also ways sometimes when the, let's say, children's bedrooms are not, like in the bedrooms, plants are not welcomed for the other reasons, you can give it a name by adding the name of the, let's say, if you have uh let's say the office that needs, like, maybe acupuncture office, or that has many rooms and it's in the east side, you can give a name. For example, let me see. Mm, it's a direct east is a rising sun. So if it's even a name of the rising sun, that's as by association will give the wood chi feeling to it. Anything that creates to galleries, gardens, children's playgrounds, that's all is the wood energy. Evergreens, farms, food nurseries, parks, plants, skyscrapers, also metals, but those are the elements of wood energy as well. Um, yeah. So there's other ways we can talk more about feng shui. Let's move forward. So solar eclipse. So there is the great site on a tour of nature. Shall I turn it on? Yes.
Oh, I don't know if that'll give it to you, but you can show that. So there's,
I don't think I can be able to. Let me see, but right now there's a little glimpse of solar eclipse as it takes place right now. So
and that's in Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas right now. So I have like my assistant here to guide me through. So how do we feel? So what is the total solar eclipse is all about within us? I think it is a very, very special time, and it's just like kind of in the way that not because of it's all the energetical, but like how does it affect us? What do we feel? Sun is the source of everything on earth. And if we do go back to ancient observations, and of course, where the explanation on solar eclipse maybe was not as scientifically explained with the accessibility of the information what we have nowadays, I think there was a lot of a great appreciation to the sun. I remember from my culture of being a Latvian, when we were connection to the nature was more taught or practiced through the paganism rituals, the believing in the son of God as a son, or wind as a god, as the mother earth. All these names were always related to the natural phenomena. And I can totally see visually how how fearful could be when the solar eclipse would appear in a nature that also was the time when the experiencing the kind of end of the world to some extent, but it's such a not a long lasting. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe maximum 8 minutes of the time that to going through it. And I wonder, maybe I can ask later, is like how many of you have experienced or experiencing the solar eclipse? I also found interesting facts that one of my latest books, the books of symbols that I have here, um, it states that the this is caused by the fact that the sun's diameter is 400 times greater than moon's, and the same time 400 times more distant. The chance capacity of the moon to eclipse the sun's glowing core while revealing its spheric crown is considered by modern astronomers who returns the jeweled nebulous and the birth of the stars as one of the most sublime sights of the humans can witness. I truly believe, and this is said, especially experiencing the total solar eclipse in 2017 in Oregon, I will never forget, at least one, if you have an opportunity once in a lifetime to experience, then take your chance. Okay. Okay, next one. How does it affect us as spiritual seeks turn towards Mother Earth to fill the spiritual void that we gain during winter month? The solar eclipse offers a moment for reflection and renewed reverence for life. You may find yourself throughout the day moved by spiritual insight as the event takes place. Solar eclipses are known to symbolize a time of darkness, spiritual renewal, offering an opportunity to introspect and shedding off the old energies. This is where you can still continuously through the year, not only during the before the solar eclipse, but you can actually do the practice on a fairly weekly uh, or daily basis if there's anything. Some of the practices as also family constellations is another way to resolve or to help uh, with the situations that we sometimes are trapped into the past. So however we can lighten up our our destiny, our karma is in effect as well. Okay. So this is some of facts. That's where we are somewhere in Texas right now, right? Still in Texas?
Yeah, still in Texas.
Okay, well, good. So there's quite a journey to miss. This is definitely most viewed, I think, in at least the most viewed solar eclipse that has been. Okay, going back to some my next few things that I also would like to share are and that correlates to the chi nodes, to the Taoist chi nodes. These are the few recipes that you'll get the content with during the chi nodes, of what to cook. And there's the great onion pesto, green onion pesto, as well as a white bean soup with the sage pesto. This slide will give, I'm going to go back to the questions and answers in a moment. I greatly appreciate everyone's contribution from the last few months regarding the Little Monks project. We have donated beyond beyond my expectation for in such a short time frame, and within the next few days, I will update, and maybe with this newsletter, we'll also send the project of how the Bhutanese project has been built and what's the progress of it, how it's going. Those who have not consulted with me regarding the Chinese astrology, this is never too late, because the way I look at the astrology, it's not just works for the beginning of the year. We can also look for the progression charts, your 10-year decade charts, as well as your natal capacity or predisposition at birth. And those are all valuable elements, especially to address if you have intention this year. Okay, that's I'm gonna stop there.